Hi, folks. Terry Brown here, and I want to thank you for stopping by to check out my video today. I do apologize for my voice is a little harsh today. I've been overtaxing my voice, doing a lot of singing, and probably a lot of yelling at the TV as well. But no, just kidding. Actually, I'm sure you're here because you have an interest in finding out more about CrowdFundFast. And so I'm so delighted that you did stop by to check out what we have to share with you today. CrowdFundFast is an amazing opportunity that allows you to get the funding that you need for nearly any personal project or goal that you may have. So whatever you can think of that you need funding for, man, you can do it through this amazing platform. Okay. What do you need? What's in your heart that you've wanted to do and could not do because you did not have the funds to do it. All right. Maybe you want to take some exotic vacation. Maybe it's that brand new car that's been on your mind, or a down payment for a house. Okay. Maybe you want to fund your retirement. Maybe you want to pay off a loan. I don't know what that is that you have in your heart, but I'm sure that you have it there, okay? And we can help you fund that. This is just an amazing platform, okay? The first crowdfunding network, that's what crowdfund is. It's the first one that's attached to a penny auction, okay? And it's the first crowdfunding network to offer a daily funding pool. And you'll want to know what all of this is about. But think about this. Take a look right here. It says project funding, okay? Penny auction product sales fund your projects. Penny auction product sales fund your projects. Now think about this for a moment. And I know you have more than likely seen some of the commercials on TV. Things like QuiBids or Deal Dash or BZ. That's just some of the more familiar penny auction sites. But, there are others as well, okay? And the thing is that these penny auction sites bring in millions of dollars daily. And just think about, a similar penny auction site funding your project, okay? Folks, this is absolutely powerful. And something, I am absolutely proud to share this with you. Now, what I'd like to do right now is I'd like to plug you into a video presentation by our founder and CEO, Lynette Artin. And she's going to explain to you how this incredible program works. Okay, so why don't we do that? Why don't we get her plugged in, and or we'll plug you in so that you'll hear this wonderful presentation by Lynette Artin. Hold on just a moment for me. Okay, here we are.
Right. So CrowdFundFast, we are all about uniting people, inspiring people, and empowering people around the globe. And it's also about a movement. And we really think that it's time to work together to create a better future through our businesses. Okay, and so CrowdFundFast has got several businesses that are a part of our platform, but we already know through experience that when you work together, you can create so much more success. And every single one of us have gone through life's bumpy roads. We know other people who have done the same. Everyone always experiences challenges in your life. If we didn't, we would never grow into better people. We would never have anything to learn from. So it's just normal and natural to have these challenges in our life. One of the challenges, and probably one of the most, I would say probably everybody has these challenges at some time in their life, if not a lot in their life, is lack of funding. And what we've seen over the last several years, since crowdfunding has really, become very well known in the mainstream online, is that people turn to crowdfunding for financial help, for the funding that they need, whether it be for medical, whether it be for business, whether it be for, personal needs, whatever it is. Sometimes it's for somebody else. Sometimes it's, for something selfish. Sometimes it's for things that are really needed and really necessary. But statistics show that the traditional crowdfunding, it doesn't work for most folks. And I'm of the belief that panhandling is not the answer. And that's not to make less of what the crowdfunding, traditional crowdfunding is all about. It's really just not a viable way to become successful. And I am also of the belief that crowdfunding was intended for business startups and whatnot, and it just kind of, went off into a different path. And I don't know how long crowdfunding in its current state will be around. Okay, and that's just my own personal opinion. And so when we started looking at crowdfunding, we really wanted to make a difference, because when 80% of crowdfunding projects that are launched fail to reach their funding goals, there's an obvious problem there. Mostly the people that get their funding successfully are your famous people, or people that have this huge network following. Those are generally the people that see their crowdfunding campaigns become successful. And the other 80%, they walk away empty-handed. So we have taken the last 2 years, we've really thought out our business model, and we've created a solution to the crowdfunding barriers that stand in your way. So what we want you to do is take these challenges, and we want to help you turn them into a funding success story. So what we've done, of course, is we've taken a couple of the platforms that are, considered high risk, like on a merchant level, penny auctions being one of them, crowdfunding being the other, because they have a high risk for chargebacks. Okay, so merchants don't particularly like them, but there's reasons why. And so we fixed that too, okay, because we don't want to have high risk platforms. We want this to be a really good experience for everybody. So we've changed the way we do business using these platforms. So you guys have all heard of BZID, Deal Dash, and Quibbits. Well, we have QkaBids. So we've taken one of the most lucrative moneymakers online, and we've opened it to you. There is not a penny auction online where you can sell your products or use our products to sell and make money on them. So what we've done is we've taken your projects and product purchases at our CFF brand store, and we give you credits to sell on that auction. So when you, or if you've referred somebody to our store and they make a product purchase at the CFF brand store, we're going to allow the people that have made purchases over there to sell on our QkaBid auction. So rather than charging per product that you sell or anything like that, what we do is we say, okay, everybody who makes a purchase over at the CFF brand store is going to get X amount of credits to sell products. This way, we are able to take our profits and fund projects and allow you to sell on our penny auction. So the bottom line that you really want to, the bottom line of what makes us different. Traditional crowdfunding is seeking donations, but CFF is crowdfunding through product sales. So funding projects through penny auctions and e-commerce sales is going to help people reach their funding goals, because you're not just looking for donations. If I was to go out and look for donations, who would I go to? I would go to my friends, I'd go to my family. Those are the people that are closest to me. Once I've gone through that list, who am I going to go to? Who is going to care enough about my campaign to come and make a donation? Probably nobody. And if I did get a few, it wouldn't be enough to take me to that funding goal. So now what we've done is we've given you the ability to create these projects, these campaigns for funding, and now you can go out and you can share products to reach those funding goals. Even more exciting to me is that you're creating jobs through your projects. I am one of these people that always feels so bad for people that are on the bottom. You know, it breaks my heart when I see people that are on the street corner with a sign that says, I'll work for food, anything helps, you know, just $1, just $5. And then I've run across other people that are of the opinion of, I'm not helping them, you know, they're in that situation, blah, 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 blah. I don't think anybody ever gets to that situation and wants to be there. I'm of the belief that when you get to that situation, it's really hard to get out of it. If you're homeless, good luck getting a job, because you got to have an address in order to get a job. And you can't rent a home if you don't have a job. So you're kind of between a rock and a hard spot. You can't get out of that blunder that you're in. And so I'm really excited about the fact that through our projects, we're going to be helping to change the way the economies are around the world. Because as you're getting funded, what are you going to do? You're going to have to go out and look for people that are going to do these projects for you. You're going to need their services, whether it be contracting, whether it be, you know, a mechanic, or whatever it is that your project is about. You're going to be stimulating the economy because you're going to be creating jobs through the projects that you are finding or that you're getting funded. So we want to explain to you how you're going to grow your CFF project funding campaigns, how the whole thing works. So you just met Kathleen Lahr, and at our CFF brand store, this is where our canvas art is going to be changing the lives of people around the globe. How? Because we take our profits and we fund 3 projects. And then with these product sales, you get the ability, the options to come over and sell in our auction. So when you make your purchase, we open our penny auction platform to you for funding. So for the first time, you get to be on the receiving end of a penny auction, not just the bidding side, but where you're actually making the money from the penny auction. So we're going to give you some bids. We're going to partner up with you so you can leverage the product sales from our penny auction and our store for funding. We're going to have a catalog full of products for you to sell on the QkaBid penny auction website. So depending on how many products you get to sell, they'll be categorized. If you have 8 products to sell, these are the products that you can choose from. If you've got, 38 or whatever the numbers are, they'll be broken down for you. So those of you that want to pick your products, you can do that from whatever category you fall into. And if you don't want to pick your products, we have people that are trained that know what products to put up and when to put them and all that good stuff, and they will do it for you, okay, based on however many products it is that you get to sell. I'm one of these people. I'm a hands-on person. I kind of like to know, exactly what's going on. I'm always dipping my fingers into everything. And there are some people that would rather just say, you know what, pick my products, get them listed, and let the baby roll. And that is fine too. The one thing that's incredible about our platform, everything, 100% is done through product sales. Every piece of funding that you receive is based on product sales. Now, we have the traditional crowdfunding, so you can still seek for the donations, but everything on our end, all of our marketing, all of our product or platforms, they're all based on 100% product sales, funding your projects. And everyone walks away a winner this way: the bidder, you, and the company. Now, one of the things that you're going to want to take some time and write out or figure out is, how much funding does your project need? Do you have more than one project that needs to be done? You don't have to set up multiple projects, okay? You can just set up one project and you can list, the few things that you want to raise funding for, and then decide how much your funding needs are. So you just figure it all up for however many, projects that you want to have funded. Just put them all on one and just explain them there. Then what you're going to do is you're going to create your project, and then you're going to start selling products on our penny auction website. And what we do is we link your project to the penny auction products. Okay, so your project, your products, and when the products sell, your project will be funded. Every time a product sells, you are getting funded. And not just your products, but every single time a product sells, you're receiving funding. Now, we also give you some bids to use on the penny auction. So you get to go over to the auction, you get to pick a product, you're going to be bidding against others. And we want you to use your bids that you get, because when you've experienced what it's like on the penny auction, it's so much easier for you to go out and share that with somebody else. You can't really ask somebody to come over to the penny auction if you haven't experienced it yourself, because then you have a lot more information and a lot more knowledge on it, and you're a little bit more excited when you're explaining it to people. When you begin bidding, you're going to watch the timer. We have a 20-second timer that continuously resets until the last bidder wins. Then you pay for your product, and your product ships. So you get to have some fun while you're getting funded. And we do have a 10% rule. You can bid on your product. Maybe you want your product. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But you can only use 10% of your bids on your own auctions. Okay, there's plenty. There's going to be a ton of auctions up. I mean, there's going to be a lot of auctions running. And so you're going to have plenty to choose from. So if you use more than 10% of the bids that we give you, they'll be returned back to you. And then basically be disqualified from that product. We're not going to take your bids from you or any of that other crazy stuff, but we really want to keep everything fair. And so we don't want you to use more than 10% of your bids on your own products. So the concept is very simple. You're going to create your project. People are going to come over. They're going to bid on the products, and your projects will get funded this way. People are going to win the products. We're going to ship the products, and you're going to be funded through your projects. Now, those of you that aren't familiar with penny auctions, how do they work? We use pennies to bid. So you take 100 pennies in a dollar. Our bids cost 50 cents. So every single time somebody places a bid, the product goes up 1 penny. The price of the product goes up 1 penny. So if you take that 50 cents times 100 pennies, you've got $50. So that means that one auction dollar has a value of $50. So if you're on the auction and you see a product that's at $1, that product has already brought in $50. And if it's at $5, that product has already brought in $250. But the person who is bidding on that product, and if they win it, they've only spent $5 on it. Now, we place a reserve on all our products, and we do this for specific reasons. You're here to sell product, to raise funding for your projects. We're not here in business to lose money. Penny auctions can lose money really quickly too, okay? So if you put up an item, and if you didn't have a reserve on any of your products, and they went for really low bidding prices, you could lose money if you didn't reach your retail. So while we're building out the business, while we're building out the audience, while we're getting our traction and getting ready for our advertising, we do have reserves. And we do this on purpose because we want to make sure that there's never a loss here, so that your projects do get funded. It'd be horrible if you were over here selling products and everything was a loss. I mean, what's the point at that point? But the bottom line is the consumer always gets a massive discount. I've had people say, well, people aren't going to want to come and bid on an auction that has reserves. Yeah, they do. Absolutely. Because they still know they're going to get anywhere from 70 to 95% off on retail. So they still get those massive discounts, but you get to make great retail sale commissions. So for the first time ever, you can now sell on a penny auction platform without having to own the software, without having to maintain the software, without having to do all the marketing to try to build out a penny auction all by yourself, which is nearly impossible. That's why most of them fail. So the more people you share your projects and your products with, the more money you're going to make on your products as they sell. And we're going to be doing a lot of advertising. We do a lot of social media. We're going to be on television, and we're going to start our advertising in August. It's going to be not so much in August, a little bit, just to get the awareness out there. And then we're going to increase it in September. We're going to bump it up in October. We're going to really step it up in November, and we're going to blow it out of the water in December. because this is when everybody is out there doing their shopping. And we've been online for 2 years. The penny auction has been operational 2 years, which is great. People like to see that it is a business that's been around, that's aged a little bit, that isn't a fly-by-night, here today, gone tomorrow business. So that lends a lot of credibility to us already. The advertising, they start to see a little bit, they start to see a little bit more, and before you know it, they're over and they're using the penny auction platform. Now we're going to explain to you how we distribute the commissions on the products that you sell. So we're going to use an iPad as an example. Now mind you, we got hundreds of products that will be up on the auction. We use the iPad for simplicity because that's just everybody knows what an iPad is. If an iPad retails at $800, okay, and it's sold on our auction for $50, that's 5,000 penny bids that have been placed at 50 cents each. You take those 5,000 pennies, times it by 50 cents, and that means that iPad brought in $2,500. And this is why penny auctions are so super lucrative and why people get really excited about them, because on an iPad that brought in $2,500, we made an incredible profit, you and the company, but we still were able to save the consumer over 90% on that item when they won it. So if your project was featured with this iPad, we already know it retailed at $800, it sold for $50, we have a gross of $2,500, we deduct the retail price, okay, on all of our items. And we do that because you always want to leave a little bit of profit loss room there, okay? So a little bit of wiggle room in case you need to, okay? You give away 5 bids when people refer, there's just that little bit of space in there that you need. So we always deduct the retail, not the wholesale. We deduct the whole retail. And you want us to do that because you want us to protect the profitability of the company for you. And when your product sells, immediately 20% goes and funds your project. So in this example, it would be $340 that would go and fund your project. We take 10% and we fund projects based on performance, which means those of you that are out there and you're helping us build the business, you're sharing it, and you're bringing us the audience that we need. We're building up our associates who are putting up the projects on the auction. We've got our sales just ramping up. There's going to be 10% in performance funding. We take 40% of every single product that sells, and we put this in a pool every single day. And that gets distributed amongst every single person who has a project being funded who is selling product. And then 30% goes to the company. So let me explain to you about the 40%. This is a daily funding pool that we set aside for every single person who's selling retail on our auction. Because we use one platform that has everything listed in the same spot, it's impossible for you to do marketing just for your project. And that's fine because you want people to come in and bid on multiple products, okay? You want them to do that, and they're going to do that. And so all of you are out there marketing, you're sharing your projects, you're sharing your products that you're selling. If somebody comes back to the auction and through your marketing efforts, and they're not interested in your product, and they've seen something else that they are interested in, and so they bid on that instead. So your marketing efforts went to benefit somebody else's project being funded. And so when we set this up, we said, well, that's not really fair when you look at the whole big picture. If you had your own storefront, if you had your own select products that you were selling in your own venue, then it would be different, but you don't. You're sharing this venue, and so you're going to share in all the product sales. That way, everybody's excited about doing the marketing because you don't care if you're helping out Susie and Sally, and John didn't get the person that he brought back to the auction bidding on his product. Because you already know that through everybody's collective efforts, every single thing that sells, 40% is shared evenly. It does not matter how many bids you have. It does not matter how much product you have purchased. It doesn't matter how much product you've sold. It does not matter how many people you've shared the business with. It doesn't matter if you've never shared the business with anybody. If you are selling products on our auction, and for the duration of the time it takes for you to sell these products, you're going to be sharing in all the products that sell, and that's 40%. So I want to make that really clear, because it's not a return on your investment. It's not based on anything other than the products that sell, and you are a retailer on our auction. Now, we do offer traditional crowdfunding, and it's free. And anybody can come in and they can set up a project, and you can go out and you can seek those donations. And then we're just like the other platforms. We just receive a 5% fee on all the funds that are received through the donations that you bring in. My personal opinion is that if you're going to create a project and you're really serious about getting that funding, you really want to be a part of the auction, and you really want to sell products for your funding, because that is really where you're going to reach that campaign funding goal success level. And those of you that are ready to fund your project, we have, in my opinion, the most crazy good system in place for you. So when you've purchased product over at the CFF brand store, we're going to give you, and you're going to see this come up too, it's going to be called our loyalty retailer program, okay? So when you're purchasing product in that store, what you're doing is you're enabling us to fund projects on our platform. And we fund 3 projects. And we do this through your family funding tree. What do we mean by that? Well, if somebody shared CrowdFundFast with you and you registered as an associate to them, and you go over and you purchase product from the CFF brand store, we're going to fund their project. And we're going to fund the project above them and the project above them. And that's your family funding tree. Okay, that's called a unilevel. And we fund 3 projects direct to you. If you are a part of CrowdFundFast and you just happened upon our business and you've registered and nobody shared it with you, what we do then is we go and we find the projects that are in the most need of funding right away, and then we fund them. Well, 90% of the time, if you are coming in as an associate, you come in through a link. I would say 99.9% of the time. Okay, so that's not going to happen very often, but when it does happen, we're going to find the projects that really have the most emergency need for funding. Now, if you've purchased $275 worth of product over at the CFF brand store, we're going to give you 8 products to sell. We're going to give you 150 bids to play in the auction. And then the projects that we fund are $75 to the person who shared the business with you, $50 to the person who shared it with them, and $25 to the person who shared it with your person's sponsor. That makes sense. 1, 2, and 3. Now, when you have 8 products to sell, it's going to take you a minimum of 30 days to sell these. You might as well just plan on that, okay? Because there's competition out there with your products, and we put a minimum reserve on it, okay? We want to make sure you get the maximum funding while we still give the people that are bidding the best discounted rate possible. So with your reserve, when you have 8 products to sell, it's going to take you 30 days. It could take you more, but definitely plan on it being a 30-day run for you, because of the way that we set it up. You're not going to sell all 8 of them at one time. We have a large number of people that are selling, so you'll have a product up. When that sells, another one will go up. When that one sells, another one will go up. So this is going to take some time. It's not going to be an overnight funding through your products that sell. Now, if you move on to the next package that we are giving you, when you've purchased $650 at the CFF brand store, you're going to get 20 products to sell. We're going to give you 750 bids, and we're going to fund 3 projects. Now, we could have just charged you individually and said, okay, if you want to sell 20 products on our auction, it's going to cost you $30 per item. That means that we're going to charge you a $30 fee per item. Why? Because you can make hundreds or thousands of dollars on every single product that sells. It's not like throwing something up on eBay, okay, or on Amazon. The profit margin here for you is huge. So we figured out what that per fee would be. And we decided, okay, if you purchase product at the CFF brand store, we're just going to give you this as a perk. So the $650 product purchase, you're going to have 20 products to sell. When you've purchased $1,000 in products, we're going to give you 34 products to sell. You're going to get 1,000 bids, and then we're going to fund 3 projects. And each one of these, we tell you approximately what to expect as far as how long it will take you to sell your products. We don't want anybody to get discouraged, like, oh my God, it's taken me 45 days to sell 20 products. You're in a busy platform with a lot of other retailers that are selling, and so you'll always have a product running, but most likely it'll just be one product at a time. And so it's going to take some time, but that's okay, because you're going to make a lot of money on the commissions of the retail from the retail sales that you're making. So each one of these have, a general amount of time that it's going to take for you to sell your products. And, if it takes you, let's say you have 20 products to sell and it takes you 60 days to sell them. Don't get discouraged. That's great, because you got to remember, while you're selling your products, so are all these other people, and you're getting 40% of everything that sells. So if it takes a little bit longer, that's great. But we're going to help you get these sold, and we're going to try to do it within the time frames that we've stated here that you can expect them to sell. $2,500 in product purchases, we're going to give you 88 products to sell. And we're going to give you 3,600 bids to go over and play in the auction, because if we give you these bids, okay, this is from the profits we make on the products that sell at the auction, at the CFF brand store. And if we give you these bids, and you get to go over and you get to take part in helping other people fund their projects, because if you're bidding on their products, they're also receiving funding. So we want to give you some bids to go play at the auction as well, and do a good thing by helping other people get their projects funded. The $5,000 product and purchases, we're going to give you 180 products to sell. Okay, now this is going to take you 120 days or more, okay, to sell those products. So that's going to be a lot more money that you make on the retail sales. It's going to make you a lot more money in all of the funding from everybody's product sales. So we have these higher packages, but it does take longer. Then if somebody has spent $10,000 in product purchases, we're going to give you 380 products to sell. We say generally sold in approximately 180 days, but realistically, you're probably looking at about a year. We would like to see them sell in 180 days, but it could be longer than that, because you're looking at 380 products to sell. So there will be days that you'll see 2 products of yours up on the auction for sale, but there's going to be a lot of days where you only see 1. And so you're going to see that it takes you a little bit longer to sell your products on our auction. So what is the potential funding that you could receive? Now, this is just based on the iPad. You got to remember, we're going to have gift cards out there. We'll have electronics up there. We'll have droids up there, drones they call them, and different cell phones. We'll have all kinds of stuff that is on the auction. So your funding could be a lot higher. Some of your items might be lower. Some of them might be a lot higher. We've got a great mix in there to make sure that you're going to receive really good funding on these products that sell. So just based on the iPad, 8 products that sell, if you had 8 iPads that sold, all of them at $50, just the funding on your retail sale commissions alone would be $2,720. Now, this doesn't include the 40% that we fund your project with through everybody's product sales. And it doesn't include the funding that you receive through your family funding trade. This is just simply on your 8 products that sold. 20 products that sell, using the iPad example, it's reasonable to expect around $6,800 in funding towards your project. Now, we have select products based on category, retail amount, how much you can expect, what the retail is, what the reserve is. We have all this in place. We want to make sure that we give you the products that are going to be the hottest on the market, the trending, that is going to give you the most retail commission and funding that you can receive. Okay, we're not going to give you little tiny products where it's going to be a waste of your time. We're going to give you the best of the best and help you reach those funding goals. So you can read this list, just see what your funding could be using just the iPad. But don't get discouraged if you don't have an iPad. Trust me, there's a lot of hot products, trending products that are out there that bring in a whole lot more money than just the iPad. There's some people that can't stand Apple. There's some people that love Apple. I'm an Apple fanatic. Okay, everything I have 2 MacBooks, I have 2 iPads, I've got 2 iPhones. Okay, and there's many times that I will have all 6 of these up and running at the exact same time, doing something on every single one of them. So I'm one of these, Apple fanatics. Some people don't like them. Some people might want the PCs or the Hewlett Packards, or they might want the gift cards or the kayaks or the TV boxes and the different things that will be on the auction. And so it basically is what that person likes, how bad they want it, how many people are bidding on that item to bring your sales up. Remember, the more bidding wars that are going on, the more money you're going to be making. So the one thing that's really powerful about our business model, you don't have to be going out there and recruiting everybody into the business. When you're looking at your typical business where you're really dependent on referrals, as far as your commissions and the money that you're making on that business model, that's always seems to be the main piece to that business model. Get your referrals, bring as many people into the business as you can. That's not what drives your business here. Where you're going to make your big money is through your retail sales on the auction. So what do you want to be promoting the most? Yeah, the people that you care about, the people that you're closest to. Share the crowdfunding piece, the associate side with them. It's always nice to have a few people that are, in your funding family that are working with you together. You can do a lot when you're working with a small group of people versus a huge team that you can't manage. But where you're going to make your money at is going out and bringing in your customers for the retail sales. Think about this. Every time you have product that sells, you're getting funded. Those outside customers, the more you have, the crazier the amount of money is that you're going to be making to fund your projects. So you've got a business model that doesn't depend on your recruiting abilities into the associate side. Your big money is coming in through the sales on the penny auction, getting people to that penny auction, getting your products to sell. That's where your massive funding is coming from. So you get to finally go out. There's so many people, you guys, you might be one of them yourself, or them. They hate recruiting. You bring them into a business, and what happens? They lose money because they're not a recruiter, because they hate bringing people into that stigma of MLM. There's only one little tiny piece to this that would depend on your recruiting abilities for an MLM piece, and that would be the 3 levels of funding that the company gives you when product sells in our store. Your big money comes from your products that sell. I think that's great, because that's one of the things that makes our company so solid. Your success rate is so much higher when your products sell. So what do? You've got a project that you have a link to that you can share in your marketing. Share your project. It's so important too, when you create a project, go to that project and really put some heartfelt information there. Don't put a one-liner there, because what happens? People are going to breeze through it and they're going to move on to the next one. When you grab somebody's attention and they feel what you feel, they're more prone to follow you. And they're going to share your project with other people. And they're going to share your product that's attached to your project with their friends and with their families. And they're going to come over and they're going to bid. They're going to share those products that you're selling. And to me, I think it's just great to be able to go out and say, wow, I've got my project link, I've got my product links, I'm going to drive my traffic to my auction, and they are going to be bidding on my products. And every single time somebody places a bid, I'm getting paid. Whether they're bidding on your product or they're bidding on somebody else's product, you're getting paid. When you can sit there at that auction and you see bid, 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 no matter where it is on that screen, you're making money. And that is the benefit to you as a retailer on our penny auction. Crowdfunding is for everyone. Unfortunately, not everybody gets funded in the traditional crowdfunding platforms. On CrowdFundFast, our goal is to make sure that everybody can reach their funding goals through product sales. We do not have any monthly membership fees. Our funding comes through our QkaBid penny auction funding for your projects through the retail sales. We fund projects through our CFF brand store the profits that we make there. All you have to do is get registered, start your campaign so you can start getting funded. And of course, if somebody shared business with you, you want to get back to that person who shared this presentation so you can get started as an associate and get your funding that way as well. Not everybody wants to come in as an associate, that's fine. But those of you that are sharing this business to your friends and your family, get them that associate link so that they become a part of your family funding tree. And that is our presentation that explains the business. And I'm sure that Candace and Faith are still here. If they want to go over the questions, we'll help you get them answered as best as we can.
Okay, folks, there you have it. An exciting presentation by our founder and CEO, Lynette Artin. And now look, I'm going to leave my information in the description area of this video, okay? And there's going to be a link that you can go to, and if you have an interest in becoming an associate, it's absolutely free to get signed up. You do that, and then I'm going to get out some more information to you. I'm also going to leave my name and my telephone number, my email address, and be sure to contact me. If you want to be an associate, contact me, send me a text message, send me an email message, call me, it does not matter, okay? Just let me know that that's what you want to do, that's what you've done, that's what you're doing, okay? Whatever the case may be, and then I'll be sure to get some more information out to you and how this on how you can get started, steps to get started and all of those good things, okay? So I'm Terry Brown, and wishing you a very, very blessed day, and I hope this has been a very enlightening presentation for you. But you be blessed, okay? All right, bye-bye.